Hey, I hope everyone's making a wonderful Wednesday. Um, just wanted to jump on here again this week. Uh, the last couple of weeks, months actually, I've been kind of going through some of the books I've been reading in our coaching group. And this week, I'm coming back to a book that I've covered a couple times. It's called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And boy, I tell you, it's not a very big book. It's only, let's see, 70 or 80 pages, I believe. 86, 76, something like that. Anyway, the point is, it's not a very big book. I mean, you can see it's actually quite thin. It only costs you about $7 or $8 on Amazon, but I one of the probably most valuable books you can own in your library as far as like for personal development or just helping yourself set goals and attain goals and learn how to live by the natural laws of the universe. So this week I got into chapter 4, which is called the first principle in the science of getting rich. Now, when Wallace D. Wattles, this can be misleading. Most people think rich, oh well, this is just all about making money. No, it's not. But um, it is about enriching your life. It's about helping you live the best version of yourself, and especially within harmony of the natural laws of our universe. And he covers that a lot in this book. So I don't want to get off on covering all the natural laws of the universe, but he talks about a lot of those things. And if you were to take the time to actually invest in spending time studying this, you'd find that these things aren't things that are foreign to you. Some of these things actually are things that we've heard, but over time, just jewels of wisdom. So, but in this chapter, he talks about one of the first steps towards the science of getting rich. I'm just going to read this real quick. Um, to do things in the way you want to do them, you'll have to acquire the ability to think in the way you want to think. This is the first step toward getting rich. And to think what you want to think is to think truth regardless of appearances. Let's say that last part again, real quick. To think what you want to think is to think truth regardless of appearances. So, what I take away from that is this. A lot of times, we may not be happy with what's going on in our lives. Maybe something going on at your job. Maybe you want to start something new. Maybe you want to start a new career. Maybe you're just not happy with certain, circumstances in your life. What we tend to do is we tend to focus on those circumstances. We focus on them so much that we spend time worrying, doubting, and basically just rehashing, replaying memories of these experiences. And then we almost convince ourselves, well, this is just how it is. I must deserve this, or that's just my luck. When, if you think about how other people, successful people, approach things, like let's take Muhammad Ali. He's a great example, right? Now, Muhammad Ali was a great boxer. Some of you may not be into boxers, but he's touted as the greatest boxer of all time. And he's, obviously done a lot of things outside of the boxing ring that makes him one of the greatest humanitarians of all time. But most importantly, he had a belief in himself. Before he was ever the greatest boxer of all time, he was telling people that he was the greatest of all time. And he then went out and backed it up. I remember this one story in particular. I heard, I think it was the fight with George Foreman in the I'm going to screw this up. It's either the Rumble in the Jungle or anyway, it's the fight with Foreman. And Ali was at the tail end of his career, and Foreman was this up and coming, young, very strong, very powerful. People are like, "Oh man, you can't beat Foreman. There's no way. He's too strong. He's too young. You're old. You just don't have. You're not the same Muhammad Ali you were like 10 years ago." And they were. They probably were wrong. Wrong. Sorry, they probably were wrong in some aspects. And as they're walking up to the ring, his crew and his entourage, they're all, you can see the terror in their eyes. You can see the scaredness, their lack of belief, because they saw George Foreman. They were focusing on George Foreman and this menacing figure. Ali was not unwavered. He looked at him. He's like, "What are you guys worried about?" Like, well, the moping and whatever. And they were all like, kind of sad. He's like, "I'm going to that ring and I'm going to win." And that's exactly what he did. He did it in a way he'd never done it before. But see, he saw the truth that he wanted to see, the truth that the reality that he was willing to make real. He was willing to believe in. And sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes you have to ignore what's going on in the outside world and the results you're getting and all the trials and tribulations and obstacles you're running into. And you have to focus really on what you're doing, what your dream is, what is it that you're trying to accomplish. If you lose sight of that and you focus on everything else, all you're doing is you're saying, hey, you know what? These results they're valid. That's what I want. But if you keep your eyes focused on what you really want, if you see the truth, regardless of whether it's actually there or not, and you keep believing, you will achieve your dreams. It's by law, it has to happen. So, anyway, I just thought that was really interesting. When I read that, it made me think of that story, and I just thought that was one of the most amazing stories I'd ever heard about Muhammad Ali, and just about believing in something regardless of the lack of it actually being in the physical world. He had this idea in his mind, and he focused on it, and he believed in it, and that because of that belief, it became real. So I hope you're all making it a great Wednesday, wonderful Wednesday. And if you haven't stopped by, I don't see anybody on here with comments, but hey, I'll look forward to the replay. Put replay in the comments if you watch this later, and let me know what you think. And I hope you're all making it a great week. And I look forward to seeing you guys all again real soon. Take care.